Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to As Above, So Below, a Rune and Tarot Divination for Thursday, the 10th of March, 2022. Well, it's a whopping 11 degrees out. I think it was supposed to get down to like 9 around, I don't know, when was it, 4 or 5 this morning. So we're coming up anyway. It's supposed to be in the 50s today, so that's going to be a really humongous temperature swing. Let's see, there's my rune bag. If this is your first time here, welcome. I appreciate you coming by. And if you like what you hear, I'd love you to click subscribe and come back. We do this Monday and Thursday of each week. Just take a look at the different rune and geomancy rune, the two different kind of runes. I look at as well as the cards, but the runes themselves, the Elder Futhark rune, I sort of regard as the above side of As Above, So Below. With the geomancy rune, because it's an earth divination tool, that would be the below side. So the more egoic type of side, whereas the other one is sort of a message from spirit. And then, of course, the tarot cards, depending on what they are, whether they're major arcana but even if they're not, that's more of the details, provides kind of the details of the reading. And the runes provide the overall significator maybe of the reading. But it just kind of depends. I mean, sometimes the cards will be what they'll be, and it takes us in somewhat different directions. So that's always interesting when that happens. So anyhow, let me move my keyboard out of the way here. But first, we're going to start with today's esoteric influences from that particular post over on the blog at Stepping Aside. The web address, by the way, for that is imsteppingaside.com, and you can find that link and other links to wherever I am underneath the video. If you just click Show More and expand that, you'll see some stuff there. And it includes my website address, my blog address. So anyhow, I do this once a week for the whole week. I also do one. I changed it's an esoteric forecast. It includes I sort of changed the name and added that to it for this week. The ascendant, the rays, and other astrological information nodes that's in there, and then some strong planetary aspects are listed. Just to give you more insight for the week. That goes up once a week. All this goes up on Saturday night. And let's see, weekly numerology as well, and then some daily correspondences if you're of the magical persuasion. Just kind of a little cheat sheet for the day. It includes it's the weekly one, so you get all 7 days, and then you get also the astrological chart for that day as well. So that's packed with a lot of stuff there, but all the posts really are. So anyway, this one though I send out in a newsletter as well as posted on the blog, and then that goes out Saturday as well. Just if you want to get something like that in your ever burgeoning like mine is inbox. So anyway, if you don't, you can just go see it on the blog. It's fine. But anyway, for Thursday the 10th, we have a one numerology, which involves leadership, individuality, and freedom. Today's rune, which won't be, of course, the ones we draw unless it ends up that way, unless I end up drawing the same thing. These are separate from today's reading, but the rune today is Othala, or sacred space, inheritance, prosperity, tradition, possessions, security. It's also the Akashic record of our lives, what the soul takes back, all the lessons the soul takes back to the collective consciousness. The geomancy rune for today is Albus, or sage, or wisdom, or clarity. If you want to liken that to tarot, you could think the hermit maybe. The sun is in Pisces, the moon is in Gemini. I started to say Gemini is the moon. Planetary governance for Thursday is Jupiter. Each planet governs a different day, and so whereas yesterday was governed by Mercury, today's governed by Jupiter. So with Jupiter in Pisces and the 12th house, you embrace an inner awareness that expresses empathy and love for others. Othala's representation of sacred space and its expression of Kenas within and without helps you to embody the light of spirit in all that you do. Coupled with Albus, the geomancy rune signifying clarity and wisdom, you draw down higher awareness into your relationships with others today. And with today's one numerology, your leadership shines forth. You have the flexibility and intuitive sense to know when to shift your behavior due to outside circumstances, and you maintain your individuality during challenging moments. You accept others as they are, preferring collaboration to going it alone. And through strong self-discipline and a pragmatic approach, you exert a powerful and positive influence on others. So that's the Thursday's part of the esoteric influences for the week. So let's go ahead without further ado and draw an Elder Futhark rune from the bag. Usually when I do any kind of bind rune or any kind of divination, I set the intention. And so the intention would be for this reading to just give us what we need to know. And I just I use my left hand inside the bag and I let the runes fall through my fingers. And the last one is the rune. That's my process anyway. We have Alyi's. Now, Alyi's is an interesting rune. You can actually, with any of the runes, you can actually physically represent with your body the shape of the rune. But here you would be raising your arms in supplication to Spirit. Or if you're on a full moon, doing a full moon ritual, you'll be raising your arms in supplication to the goddess. But either way you want to look at it. This is about, Alyi's is kind of the bridge between realms. It basically invokes higher awareness or draws down higher awareness into whatever you're doing, to your perceptions, to your behavior, to your actions. It's about protection. It means the elk, or the elk sedge, and that would be the marshy areas where elk and moose and all that, but this would be more elk, that where they wander about and forage. The grasses themselves are so tall in the marshes that they act as sort of a hideaway for them sometimes, but then you'll see things move and you'll see their antlers and all of that, so you know they're out there. But that's what this is. It's about higher protection. So then for the spirit side of things, the as above side of things, we're talking about drawing down or invoking spirit into our awareness here with Alyi's. And then with the geomancy side of things, I use 4 elemental runes. They look like this. One side has got 2 dots, one side has 1, and they're all corresponded to either fire, air, water, or earth, and that's the order we're going to put them into if you've never seen geomancy done. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so today we have the rune Puella, and I've done them here so I can show them to you rather than trying to hold 4 of them in my hand. Oh, that's poor. That's the opposite. I think did we have poor? No, we had Fortuna Major last time. There it is. Puella is about, it means a young girl. And so you're talking about scattered little girl energy. I was a Puella growing up, very interested in everything around me, noticing everything around me. It can be a little superficial because you're not so focused, but yet at the same time, I was also very focused, so it's only partially Puella. But this is really about, it's about being fortunate, but not too fortunate, so it's more fortunate in the immediate sense instead of the general fortunate. But it's a positive, it's generally considered a positive rune. So if you just think about, I have a granddaughter who's 4. She'll be 5 in July, and she's like that. She's everywhere. She's interested in everything, and sometimes she's extremely focused, but other times she's just kind of here, there, and everywhere, and excited about things. So that's kind of the Puella energy. So if you put them together, then you're looking at drawing down spirit into a way that maybe is extremely curious about their environment and what they're doing and all of that. So instead of the below side being, really egoic, although, we could find, well, if I don't throw the cards on the floor, hang on. If we could find that, and this was, what do we have here? We have the 2 of Swords. If you drop a card, it's kind of your card, so pay attention to the 2 of Swords. In fact, let me write it down here because I'll forget. Swords with a pen that barely works. But anyway, it could be that the cards could talk about maybe something superficial. So we'll see. We'll see which side of Puella we're looking at. I don't do reversals in tarot because I've already done most of my shuffling here before I started here. But I don't generally do reversals. I mean, I can, but I don't, because I tend to look at the wholeness of the cards. So I would look at what the reversal I would consider that as well in the reading. So generally speaking, anyway, I don't do reversals. I don't do them here. Let's go ahead and take the 3 cards, though. Oh, well, we had the 2 of Swords. We have the 2 of Pentacles in the reading. So we got one. Now, we may end up moving these cards around. I have the 3 of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the 2 of Pentacles. So I have 2 cards from Pentacles, which is the earth element. That's going to be our physical surroundings, our work, our home, all of that. The more earthly side of things, as opposed to air, which is intellect, water, which is emotions, and fire, which is creativity and the spark of life and all of that. The will, expression of will. But we do have one from the element of fire, the Suit of Wands here, the Knight of Wands, and of course then the 2 of Pentacles. But I think we'll just start with the 3 and see where that takes us. Because I think I see a pattern here with this now. We have the 3 of Pentacles, and here we have a man working his craft in a public area, basically. And you have 2 women that have come by, and they're admiring his work. Maybe they're looking to hire him, or they're just passing by and enjoying what they're seeing him do. You can see the lovely stonework here and the 3 pentacles above. There's kind of a flower right there. But with the 3, you're talking about creativity, and you're also talking mind, body, spirit balance, generosity, maybe. But with the 3 of Pentacles, it's really about the side of life where you're creating things, where you're manifesting things, where you're working your craft, you're plying your trade. There's a sense of interaction about it with other people, either in terms of, the other people you work with, or your boss, or with whoever the customers are, and in this case, that's really what we're talking about here. So this is one direction in life, and I say direction because here we might be shifting it. The Knight of Wands, you'll see the knights are all in battle attire, even though their visors are all up, so nobody's actually in battle. This one's carrying a staff, a crude staff with the little, it's still somewhat alive, because you see the little twigs coming off of it with the leaves. So we also see that he's in the Holy Land, because you see the 3 pyramids there. And knights are I have Knights Templar in my background, and they're always on a quest somewhere, right? One in particular, I'm also related to Robert the Bruce, and so the story goes that the Knights Templar took the Robert the Bruce's heart to the Holy Land. I don't know. I guess that was a thing. I don't know if it was just rulers that had that they did that with, or if other notable people in history they did. I don't know. But I know that from looking at different historical things, and also within, I have an ancestry account, and I've been doing my ancestry for a long time now, since I think about, 2007 or 8. But that's how I know that I'm related to Robert the Bruce and a bunch of Knights Templar. I every time I see someone's a knight, I'll go check the list, because there's a list out there. Or if you Google it, you can come up with a list of Knights Templar, and you're like, oh, okay, there's that one and that one. But anyway, this one, but that particular relative was said to have taken Robert the Bruce's heart to the Holy Land. So every time I see this card, I think of that, Anyway, knights are on a quest, and they're there usually on behalf of someone else, in protection of. Uh, Whereas the Knight of Pentacles, you see that he's sitting on a horse and the horse is standing still. I think the Knight of Cups, you see them, he's offering a cup, and the horse is starting to step over a small creek that's running in front of them. But here, this one's raring to go, isn't he? And so this to me suggests that there's some change, and perhaps a new direction. Since he's headed toward the past, if he was going the other way, it would be the future. Since it seems like he's going to the past, he's paying homage to tradition. So maybe there is something about what you're doing in your career today that's going to change somehow. Now, it could be you're not leaving that particular career. Maybe you're getting a promotion. Maybe you're moving into. You've maybe done some other kinds of study that you've expanded your skill set, and maybe you're going to move into another division in the company where you can do some other exciting things that you haven't been doing thus far, or it could be you're going to get a promotion, but there's something that's vitality related. There's something that's creativity related with the Knight of Wands, and so it expands on the already existing creativity you see here. So something is about to change. It could be something exciting, and then we come to the Two of Pentacles. Now, as typical with some of these cards, you're going to see this line of demarcation here. Sometimes it's you'll see two distinct lines, and this is more white. Then there's one card where it's all black. But to me, it's a line of demarcation. It says that was then, this is now, or some kind of relationship like that. But here you have a juggler. Juggling two large coins with a lemniscate around it. It's almost in gear-like fashion, isn't it? Lemniscates mean the figure 8. Anyway, we also see the element of, so there's a decision here that has to be made, which is also air element. But here you have the water element represented as well. You'll find that in a lot of the small cards, in the minor arcana cards, where it has a general theme to it, but you can also see other kinds of elemental influences in the cards, and I don't think we should ignore them. And here what you see are in a way, very, very, it represents the similar kind of energy here with the ups and downs of emotions. And so at some point you may go back and forth about whatever new direction you want to have. Maybe there's some fear associated with it, some insecurity. Maybe you're all for it, but your emotions might be all over the place. And so at some point you have to ground yourself. Of course, he's going to stand on, it looks like he's standing on one foot here. So, kind of fingers crossed. But I always think that when I see that. But you see a smaller ship here and a bigger ship here. So the emotions have got the element of some bigger concerns and some smaller concerns. But here there's some momentum, and you starts out small and it gets bigger. So at some point we've got to make a decision about whatever's going on here. We've started our career with the Three of Pentacles, and I think that this is where Puella probably comes in the scattered little girl energy. You're excited about something, so your thoughts are going in a million different directions about it, and because it's more of an air element type of a rune, so not so much emotion, but I mean that's also in there as well, implied at least. So I think at some point you have to stop and you have to consider all of the issues, and I think that's what the Two of Pentacles is telling you, that this is there's a cyclical action, there's a cyclical effect here, or a cause and effect of whatever decision that you make, and so you have to be aware of that. Is it really going to benefit you? So with all these then, the idea of protection comes in, the idea, again, of drawing down spirit into your awareness. I mean, we are souls inhabiting these bodies, but the soul gets focused into the physicalness of the experience, and then maybe forgets to remember that they're a soul, and that the higher awareness is there, and all they have to do is just kind of go, okay, and allow that to come in. In other words, shift your focus, the scattered little focus that Puella might give you, to then focus into spirit and hear what you truly know about things, and what you truly are here to do, and what really matters in life. It's usually not thinking solely about yourself. It's usually about, if you have family or whatever that you have to consider, then it has to be what's going to be best for them as well, whatever decision that you want to make. But it just seems like it may be something that it might be a good direction to go. And so if you're excited about it, and you've looked at all the factors, you've weighed the pros and cons, you're going to know whether or not it's the best decision to make. And so the idea with Pentacles is you want to be as grounded as possible and as practical as possible, because it, like I say, it could be something really exciting for you, but maybe not necessarily the best choice for the family. So, and we had a reading like this, God, was it last week? I can't remember now. It might have been last week, where we talked about, or the week before, but it was recent, where this sort of issue came up again at that time, where it might be a good thing to do, but you're going to have to talk with the family and make sure that that's in fact what the situation is going to really be good. Because maybe it means relocating, and the family just isn't ready to do that. You've got kids in school maybe, and or maybe you don't have enough equity in your house that you're buying to sell it at that point. So lots of decisions that go into something like this, lots of factors involved, and so I think that with the Knight of Wands going in the opposite direction from it really toward the past, then I think that you could also look at this going to the receptive side of self, as well as versus the projective side or masculine side of self. So if you looked at this in terms of polarity, then this would also reference spirit, because spirit's going to be on the receptive side of self. That's the goddess side of self. Goddess, in other words, goddess giving birth to creation from the void. That would be the feminine side of the polarity, or receptive side of self. So there you would be looking at the whole picture again, with understanding and compassion for the feelings of other people, and then weighing out that decision then with the Two of Pentacles. So I think this is a really easy reading here. Lots of excitement with the Knight, and also with Puella, about maybe a new path opening, and and maybe a decision being made with the two. But we start out with a good foundation, and that's why I think that this is actually being expanded upon, especially with the Knight of Wands coming next. There's a feeling of expansion there. So if today or over the next few days something like this comes up for you, then just understand that, explore it, let your emotions guide some of that. Like you can help that, really. That's going to automatically happen. But make sure that you weigh it all out, and think about all aspects of it, including what's going to be best for your family. If you have a family, if there's a family involved here, you're going to want to weigh it out. You're going to want to make as balanced a decision as possible. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean an even keel, as you can see. He's kind of weighing it on the side of, say, if we look at this from our perspective, then this would be the left side. It would be the feminine side of self and the masculine side of self. But I don't look at him that way. I look at it from the person on the card's perspective. So he's focused on the emotional side, the receptive side, but he's still a little excited about it. So you want to make sure that you understand the pros and cons, and that you try to have some kind of a of a balanced or pragmatic decision when all is said and done. So hopefully that resonates for you, and in some capacity. I try not to get too specific here because, everyone's got their own life, everyone's got their own experiences, and so I try to make this as general as possible so that in the event that, you can find a message here for yourself, then you can do that. So anyway. So I think that's it. I don't think we need another card, unless, we could take one. We're kind of running late here. We're at about 25 minutes. Let's just do one more card. Maybe we'll get 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13th. We'll take the 13th one for randomness sake. Yeah, the Empress. This is about family, creation, birth. So something's happening. But you've got to take into account the bigger picture, and to do it with a level of understanding and compassion and empathy for the needs of others involved. So definitely that reinforces it. Definitely we began with a 3, we end with a 3. So that kind of a little bit of synchronicity there reinforces all of that maybe you're not in this just for yourself, but you're in it to help, your family grow and become successful and all of that. So anyhow, I guess that's it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for coming by, and click subscribe if you haven't. I'd love you to do that, and come back and join us on Monday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully it's going to get it's not going to be as cold here going forward, which is good. 11 is really cold. My feet are cold. I don't have any socks on. And so my feet are really cold. But anyway, enjoy your weekend, and be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.